Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Yesterday, March 16th, 2016, the mainstream media was putting out headlines, as you see on the screen. Trump, I think you'd have riots. Warning issued with GOP closer to contested convention. If you missed these headlines, Donald Trump and other people said that if the Republican Party squeezes Trump out of the nomination, it might result in violence, including riots. And something I've been talking about for months is how this Donald Trump presidential run is all part of a contrived narrative to rile people up, divide them, provoke anger, violence, etc. The mainstream media is actively leading the people of this nation down a very dangerous path. Today, March 17th, this is the mainstream headline from CNN. Gathering to plot against Trump. Conservatives convene to talk third party convention challenge. And what this propaganda does to the people of this nation who are not awake is it makes them think Donald Trump is some sort of outsider candidate, some sort of legitimate person that the mainstream media is against, that, the Republican establishment is against. They don't understand what a puppet show it is. They don't acknowledge at the same time that the mainstream media has had Donald Trump on the TV screen, on the airwaves, nonstop since he announced he was running for president last June 2015. Never in any of our lives have we seen anyone get this much airtime. Donald Trump, the apprentice. This is all a monumental setup. This is all about taking us to a very negative place. If you're new to my channel, I show how within words there are coded numbers, and the mainstream media uses this language known as gematria to code their plans, where they're taking us. Throughout history, the numbers 44 and 144 have been very central in political assassinations. About 2 weeks ago, I did a video on the parallels between George Wallace and Donald Trump. George Wallace was running for president in 1972, 44 years ago. And right now, the mainstream media is drawing parallels between Trump and George Wallace, saying Trump is the biggest mainstream bigot to run for president since George Wallace. George Wallace was shot while campaigning by Arthur Bremer, which the movie Taxi Driver is made about. In the recent Kalamazoo, Michigan shooting hoax, there were all sorts of tributes to the movie Taxi Driver and Arthur Bremer, who shot George Wallace. They said the final cab fare for the Uber driver who was on the killing spree was $5.23. The next couple of days, there was a shooting in Heston, Kansas, and the story was that the police responded at 5:23 p.m. and killed the shooter immediately. 5:23 shooting hoaxes, days apart. This year, May 23rd, a lot like 5:23, is the 144th day of the year because it's a leap year. Notice when you write out 44, it sums to 144. We're going to be talking about these numbers a lot in this video. Right now, Donald Trump is running to be the 45th president, but the 45th president will be the 44th person to be president. That's because Grover Cleveland, one man, counted as number 22 and number 24, the only person to be elected in a split presidency. He threw the count off by one. Obama's the 44th president, but he's number 43 in terms of person. So we're going to be talking about 44 and 144. Yesterday, CNN story, Trump, I think you'd have riots. They had a video that went with the article. They made the video a minute 44 long. And CNN and the mainstream media has been coding 144 on a lot of Donald Trump news very recently. So check this out. Also yesterday, Trump announced that he's canceling his appearance at the GOP debate on March 21st, 3-2-1, kind of like a countdown, in Salt Lake City, Utah. And instead of going to the debate, what he's going to do is he's going to go to a meeting with AIPAC, which is the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, the Zionist lobby that all presidents go before as their first action once sworn in as president. Every president's done the same thing, gone before AIPAC, their Zionist Jew banker masters before anything else. The fact that Trump's doing this on March 21st is very interesting. So check this out. Let me show you what's up with Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City, where he's walked out of the debate, has gematria of 138, just like his name, Donald Trump. Donald Trump 138. He's too good to be at the GOP debate in Salt Lake City. But what I'm telling you is this is all part of the scripted narrative. Salt Lake City, Utah has gematria of 188, kind of like Trump alone equals 88. The date of this debate that's now been canceled, now the date he goes before AIPAC, a date with numerology as you see, life lesson number of 33, a very important number to the Masons and Zionists, the Mormon Church, headquartered down in Salt Lake City in Utah, very much centered around the number 33 as well. Once upon a time, Joseph Smith died in the year 44. He was murdered. His replacement, Brigham Young, dropped dead 33 years later. No coincidence. 33, an important number to the Masons, to the Zionists, having to do with spirituality, having to do with ritual sacrifice. Interesting, the numerology on this date. Also, March 21st will be the 81st day of the year because 2016 is a leap year. Salt Lake, as in Salt Lake City, has gematria of 81. When I see the number 81, one of the first words I think of is the word wizard. Wizard has gematria of 81. Think about all the recent Donald Trump KKK headlines, the white supremacists. Also think about the Mormon religion, which in their holy book says that the closer you become to God, the whiter your skin becomes. This is a belief in Mormonism, an inherently racist religion. And I'm always amazed when I meet Mormons. You know, Mormons are always actively expanding their religion, recruiting. I'm always amazed when I meet people who aren't white that have joined Mormonism recently. I mean, have these people even read the book? Do they even know what they're becoming a part of? Islander Mormons, there's a lot of them. It's just a joke. You know, people just get sucked into these things. Anyhow, the KKK, K is the 11th letter, the 11, the 11, the 11, the 33. Also, with regards to Mormon, it has the gematria of 88, just like Trump, just like words such as poison and program. And when you think of Trump, you'll think of cards and card games. Right now, there's a show, House of Cards, that's giving a lot of predictive programming for what's to come in this nation. Season 4, Episode 4, features the assassination of the president. 4-4, a lot like 44. That episode is called Chapter 43. It's interesting that Obama's the 43rd person, 44th president. As I talked about in the video I did yesterday on Trump, the name Barack Obama equals 68. The name Donald John Trump equals 68. In 68, there was 2 political assassinations, one of Martin Luther King Jr. on 4-4, the other of Bobby Kennedy, who was running for president. He died at 1:44 in the morning. His brother died on the first day of Sagittarius, JFK. Sagittarius having the gematria of 144, like his time of death, 1:44 in the morning. Speaking of wizards and KKK and skin turning white, think about David Duke, the man who said he would turn the KKK party from robes into suits. He now distances himself. Anyway, he has this video on YouTube, Will Israel Assassinate Obama? And look at the video length, 14 minutes and 40 seconds. 0 doesn't count in numerology. That's a lot like 144, this number of assassination. And think about David Duke's name, DD. D's the 4th letter, DD 44. DD 44. I have some examples of words that sum to 144. 44 when written out equals 144. April 4th, the date when written out, sums to 144. First president to die in office died on April 4th. The ninth president, William Henry Harrison. The next president to die in office will be the ninth president to do so. Could very well be Obama. The last president to die in office was JFK, the 44th term president. Died on the first day of Sagittarius. 10 days later, in Gematria equals 144. This is relevant because Lincoln dreamed on April 4th that he would be shot and killed, only to be shot and killed 10 days later on Good Friday. I'll be doing a video in the coming days on this upcoming Good Friday, which is very interesting as well. The phrase Mark of the Beast also has Gematria of 144. In case you've never seen one of my videos before, Mark of the Beast references the number 666. When you add the first 144 decimal points of pi, the number having to do with cycles and circles that you learned about in math, when you add the first 144 decimal points of pi, it sums to 666. What Mark of the Beast means. Both of these numbers come from Revelation, the final book of the Bible. Anyhow, David Duke, the Grand Wizard of the KKK party, look at what David Duke equals in Gematria. 81, just like the word wizard. Donald Trump canceling his meeting on the 81st day of the year down in the whitest place in America, Salt Lake City. Just weeks ago, he was having to answer for being supported by David Duke. The media wasn't impressed with the way he answered the questions. I always think, though, when Donald Trump's answering these questions, he's just following his puppet role, following the narrative that's asked of him. I have a video earlier this year from David Duke. If you go to YouTube and type in Zachary K. Hubbard, David Duke, it'll pop right up. Check it out. There's even more information. Some more recent headlines in regards to Trump. In the wake of the David Duke questioning that he didn't respond to, Trump rebuffs Hitler comparison. The media started saying, oh, maybe Trump supports the KKK. Maybe he's cool with the Nazis. Anyhow, Trump rebuffs Hitler comparison. This story came on March 8th. Trump rebuffs Hitler comparison equals 144. Within the KKK, within the Nazis, there's a whole lot of Masonic coding by the numbers. What people don't understand is that the Masons, the Zionists, they have always created these controlled threats to create the perception they want and the sympathy they want for certain groups in society, all part of their ongoing agenda of playing people against each other. What's interesting about 38, as in March 8th, the day of this headline, is that the name Adolf equals 38, so does Jew. Trump rebuffs Hitler comparison on this date with the 144 coded in. It's all contrived stories by the numbers. Recent headlines after the North Carolina debate where a black man was beaten by white people in the audience. Donald Trump said maybe he should have been roughed up, which has Gematria of 144. Do you see what's going on here? Just before that, Trump asked backers to swear their support, vows to broaden torture laws. Here's a guy campaigning saying we need more torture. Shows you the direction of this country. You know, this stuff's flying with a certain segment of the population. Anyhow, he made these remarks in Orlando, Florida, calling for more torture. Gematria of 144. Did it on a date with 44 numerology, March 5th, 2016. This is what I mean when I say the ongoing show by the numbers. The video that accompanied that was 2 minutes and 23 seconds in length. The number for Masonic and Jewish Gematria, the number for the synagogue of Satan, who are the false Jews who will rule in the end times, is referenced by the Bible. I know a lot of people, when they hear me speak, they think I'm a Christian or I'm religious. That's not the case. I'm just explaining the significance of these things, where they come from, why they're used. The Masons, they use the spiritual texts of this world as a playbook. More recent Donald Trump headlines. Trump's unwelcome support, white supremacists. Supremacist, a word with 144 Gematria. White supremacist, the small way equals 74, like Masonic. You think about how the KKK used to burn crosses. Cross equals 74. A number often paired with 33 by the Freemasons. KKK 33, cross 74. Out of the 50 states in the United States, there's only one state that has a gematria of 74, the 33rd state, Oregon. Can't say it enough. This nation's always been ruled by the numbers, was created by the numbers. To go back in time, here's a story from August of 2015. And now that it's all becoming more clear, more into focus, old headlines such as this become more transparent. There was this story about Donald Trump going on jury duty, and CNN and the other mainstream outlets interviewed this guy supposedly named David Hamburger, who was on jury duty with Donald Trump. Notice jury duty has gematria of 144. Back then, I was wondering what the coding might be about. I saw that he was running on negative values. I knew its association with Mark of the Beast. But now it seems that it might be going to a point where he might actually be used in a rigged assassination to provoke his supporters. You know, these headlines about there's a riot coming. That name Hamburger has gematria of 48, just like Donald Trump the small way. David Hamburger, jury duty. Stories by the numbers. Laughs at our expense. Just 2 days ago, on the Ides of March, the date that Caesar was supposedly assassinated in 44 BC, Jerry Springer got in on the action, former mayor in Cincinnati, Ohio. He said that there was no way that Donald Trump will be president, and his quote was that the only thing different between Trump's presidential campaign and his TV show, Jerry Springer, is that nobody on his show was ever running for president. So, Donald Trump even getting low blows from Jerry Springer, a person who has promoted, horrible values for as long as he's been on TV. Just like Donald Trump promotes horrible values. Trump equals 88, just like words such as poison, words such as program. I noticed the emphasis on inevitable. It has gematria of 99 and 45, just like Illinois. Jerry Springer comes from Illinois. His show, Springer Show, was once broadcast out of Illinois. Recently, there was the Trump rally canceled in Chicago on March 11th. Got a video on that. All set up by the numbers. All planned showings. Anyhow, what's interesting about Jerry Springer is his birthday. I didn't put it up here, but he's born February 13th, which is the date of Lupercalia. He's born in the year 1944 on the 44th day, Jerry Springer, and they're asking him to weigh in on Donald Trump. So all this 44 coding ongoing. Remember, Trump's running to be the 44th man to be president. Lupercalia is the date that Scalia passed on this year. On President's Day, CNN had the headline story, "What's Next?" with Scalia's face and Obama's face. The gematria of the headline coded out to 68, like the year of the double assassinations, MLK and RFK. Anyhow, whole lot of 44 coding in Jerry Springer right here. Springer saying, no way can Trump be president. Springer was once mayor in Cincinnati. Cincinnati has the gematria of 96, like Freemason. Ohio, one of only 2 states with a gematria of 47, matching the word president. The other is Nevada. Remember, the first Republican debate was in Ohio. The first Democratic debate was in Nevada, the 2 states with 47 gematria, fitting for presidential runs. This year, the Republican convention is in Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland's not named after Grover Cleveland, but remember, Grover Cleveland, who we talked about in the beginning, the 22nd and 24th president, his presidency is known for boosting the Republicans in a major way because he was a major failure as a Democrat. Read about Grover Cleveland, the Mugwumps, and the Republican Party. This year, the Republican convention in Cleveland, which references that. Jerry Springer also brought up 1968 in his recent criticism. 1968. He had to apologize for that. But again, 1968, the year of the double assassination. Donald John Trump equals 68, Barack Obama equals 68. So one last point here. On the Ides of March, March 15th, the date in history Caesar was assassinated in 44 BC, there was this interesting headline from CNN. just show you the gematria of Ides of March as gematria of 56 and 65. President equals 47 and 56. Ides of March also equals 101, like the word assassin. Julius Caesar was assassinated on this day. Notice how President and Caesar both have gematria of 47. CNN emphasized this tweet with this picture of the classic Caesar dressing. Classic Caesar has gematria of 68, like Barack Obama, like Donald John Trump. Classic Caesar also 113, like mainstream dishonest, a number coded in their ongoing propaganda by the numbers. Now on the Ides of March, here's something that really stood out to me. The high scorer in the National Basketball Association was number 44, who plays for the Nets, and he scored 44 points on the Ides of March, the date Julius Caesar was assassinated in 44 BC. And if you're not aware, Trump's business, one of his most recognized businesses, his casino, is in New Jersey. I think this is all part of the predictive programming. As I've been showing, professional sports are used as one of the subliminals. Showing this with the Super Bowl and a whole lot more. The same people who control the media are the same people who control the sports leagues, are the same people who control our government, world governments. This is the New World Order, the Masonic Zionist agenda. So that pretty much sums it up. If you haven't seen my prior videos on May 23rd, the one I put out yesterday about the nomination of Merrick Garland, the videos about the death of Scalia, I'm going to link all those in the description. Check out those videos. They're all essential to grasp this information fully. Until next time, Truth Seeker.